Hi everyone, I'm the Plant Propagator and welcome to my channel. Today it is a warm, stormy day. It rained like 10 minutes ago and now the sun is out and it's just steamy. So these guys are just loving this. What I wanted to do, and I apologize for the background noises. They're still working on my street, so you're going to hear equipment, and actually, so they must have, yeah, there's heavy equipment because right now my chair is vibrating because of the equipment that they're bringing up and down the street. What I want to talk to you about today is tags and the need for tags and what's on tags, and these are the tags that are on the orchid plants that you'll have in your collection. The reason I'm talking about this, well, I had a request from a viewer, a subscriber, to try to describe the information on the tag, but it's relevant because I did a mounting at a good friend's house and this past week. And I'm sorry, I wanted to get a video of it, but I couldn't because this is Southwest Florida and it was just raining pretty much the whole time. It was good because you could look up in the trees and feel the sides of the trees that were wet from the rain that was either coming down or dripping down the trees. So it was great, but unfortunately we couldn't, I couldn't make a video. I couldn't bring any of my electronics out into the rain. But it was a great night and just mounted a lot of, probably 50, 75 plants we mounted on the various trees. A lot of burlap phals and burlap guars and lots of different plants that I had recently deflasked and acclimated, so they were ready to go outside. But small, mostly small seedlings, some larger plants. At the end of the night, we did a lot. Felt pretty accomplished putting everything in the trees. But at the end of the night, I went to look in the containers that I used to bring her plants to her and her seedlings to her. And what I found were all these tags just thrown in the container. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, if the tags are in the container, what's on the tree marking the orchids? And the reality of it, as you might imagine, they're all here. Nothing was in the trees. Well, the ones that I mounted, I did place the tags next to the trees, and I'm not sure why these didn't get, and look at them, I'm not sure why these didn't get mounted in the trees, but you gotta know what orchids you have in your collection, and you have to have an understanding of what they are and what they're going to look like. You know, I know some people, oh, they want pretty tags, or they want, these are white with dark type on them, as most of them are. But it's nice to know what you have because you're not going to remember all of the orchids that you have, and it's just good to have things labeled. I always have things labeled. When I have, sometimes I'll bring orchids home and seedlings, or just even the larger ones, and what'll happen is occasionally the wind can blow some of these tags out of the pots. What I found happens more often is that I get animals that are climbing through my orchids, that a tag that'll be just shoved in a pot, maybe not very well, like this, the animals will take them out as they're flying through there or as they're running through the pots, and it just really upsets me when I have that, because they're of such limited value to me when you lose the tags. So you got to know what you have, and I label these things, and I label them pretty well. So what's on the tags? On all these tags that are on the table? Well, the name of the company is usually on part of the tag, but what you need to know, and what's as or more important, is what the specific orchid is. So as far as the information that's on the tag, let's take a look at this plant here first. And there's not much information on this tag because this is one of my plants from seedling, and I'll have a video on this, just on this plant, because I'm so excited. The flower just opened today right here. Not really that special, but the plant itself is special. And again, I'll have a video just on this plant coming. But this is a Cattleya pumila. And the Cattleya is the genus, the pumila is the species. So this is a species orchid. It was generated from a self of another Cattleya pumila. At the time when it was given to me, the tag was labeled as Laelia pumila, and so that's how it was labeled. But there's been a lot of reorganization and renaming in the orchid community with the use of molecular markers, the DNA, not the DNA sequences itself, but there's more markers, kind of a fingerprint of what's going on. It's a little bit easier to place these orchids in the various groups and families and the genus that this is in. So the Laelia was renamed, most of the Laelias were renamed Cattleya. And so this is a Cattleya pumila. Cattleya, again, is the genus, pumila is the species. I should mention that the plural of genus is genera. It's not genera, it's not anything French, it's a Latin word, it's genera, is the plural of genus. All right, so this is a genus species. And most people will refer to this as a species orchid. Okay, this is another one, and I wanted to share with you because I was pretty excited as I was looking through my orchids this morning. I saw that this orchid has a flower spike right here. So I'm pretty excited about this because a lot of times when I'm looking through my collection, I take a look at most of my orchids almost every day, and I don't miss much when I see them. I saw that this one is blooming. I actually saw when I took this down yesterday that I got another bloom spike coming out here. I didn't know that this one was blooming. I should have anticipated it. It's only got a single bloom coming out on it. There's a lot of new pseudobulbs coming out of this. This thing is just growing like crazy. I don't know if you can see the new growth here, but this is a new bloom coming out on this plant, so I'm pretty happy about this. This is listed on the tag. This says RLC Cornerstone in single quotes compass. All right, what does that mean? RLC is it's most of the parentage of this plant is in Cattleya. So what's the RLC stand for? Well, RLC is Rhyncholaelia Cattleya. RLC, Rhyncholaelia. All right, so why is this a Rhyncholaelia Cattleya? And so a lot of times when you have orchids, you have the genus will be abbreviated because there's a lot of intergeneric plants that are crossed between two different genera, and that gives an intergeneric cross. And RLC is a cross between a Rhyncholaelia and a Cattleya, and in this case they just merged the names Rhyncholaelia Cattleya. RLC is the name of this. You look at the background of this, and this is mostly Cattleya parentage. But it has a Rhyncholaelia, and it's a Rhyncholaelia digbyana. One of the distant parents of this plant is a Rhyncholaelia digbyana. And because of that, this species and all of probably most likely the progeny of that, if I cross this with another RLC, if I cross this with a Cattleya, the genus of this is going to be RLC or Rhyncholaelia Cattleya. All right, that's the genus. The next word in this name is on the tag here is cornerstone. And cornerstone is a name that was provided by the person that made the cross of the parents. And the cross of the parents, this is RLC, and on the tag it says this information. Many times you can find this really easily when you go to Orchid Roots, orchidroots.com. Great website. It's got the parentage of all the orchids. So this is RLC Bryce Canyon times RLC Memoria Crispin Rosales. And so this is what that cross was. It generated RLC Cornerstone, where Cornerstone and the Bryce Canyon and all these other names are it's the Grex, Grex. And for some reason in the orchid community, the Grex is the name, the major name of the plant when you make a cross. This is a little bit of an unusual terminology, but it's called the Grex. So the RLC is the genus, and you can either have species as with this one, or you can have the Grex as with this one. I hope I'm not getting things too confusing, but it's going to get more fun in just a second. So cornerstone is the Grex of this plant. It's the name that's provided the plant, and you can name these plants through the Royal Horticultural Society if the cross hasn't been named before. All right, so Bryce Canyon and Memorial Crispin Rosales has been named RLC Cornerstone. The next part of this name, it says in single quotes, Compass. Okay, what is that? And it's in single quotes, so that is the cultivar or the clone, but most cases it's referred to as the cultivar of this. So what happened with this plant, or a similar plant, or this same plant, was awarded through the American Orchid Society, and when it was awarded, it's given another name that goes in single quotes, that in this case was Compass. Once a plant is awarded, it can be vegetatively propagated or cloned, and all of the plants that are from that are exactly the same as the plant that this came from. So this is a clone of the plant that was awarded, that was RLC Cornerstone Compass, and you can count on this plant being exactly the same as all of the other RLC Cornerstone Compasses that are out there. All right, so those are the main thing. That's the main thing that's on the tag that you need to be aware of. And again, when you have a tag on, keep the tags. Keep the tags on your plants. Try not to lose them. You can attach them in different ways. I've seen a lot of people put the history of the repotting, of the flowering time, of everything on that same tag. I keep those histories somewhere else on my phone or in a spreadsheet or something like that. But at least have the name of your orchid on your tag. Okay, so that's all I have for you today. If you want to see additional information, or if you have a correction for this video or any of my videos, please reply in the comments. If I mispronounce something, if you any comment that you have, I'm happy to listen, and I do respond to every comment that you'll put out. So that's all I have for today. I hope you enjoyed my video. If you did and you want to keep on seeing them, it would help me out if you could click on like, share, and subscribe to my channel if you're not already a subscriber. Okay, that's all I have for today. I hope you enjoyed my video on tags, holding on to them, and what information is or should be on the tags. All right, that's all I have for today. Again, I hope you enjoyed it, and happy propagating.